Hello everyone, my name is Jack and this is Homebrew Heroes, where I share with you all some homebrew content for the game Dungeons & Dragons. Today I'll be going over the Dragoon class from the Final Fantasy XIV companion book for 5th edition D&D. Created by Reddit user SilentSoren, this is a massive project that has been worked on by redditors and players for over 3 years, resulting in a guidebook filled with races, classes, and spells based on the popular online fantasy game and remade to fit into any campaign setting. If you're interested in this class, or in my other videos going over this compendium, such as the Gunbreaker, the Astrologian, and the Machinist classes, the links to those can be found in the description below. With that said, let's begin. The two most powerful things in Dungeons & Dragons are the dragons and dungeons, in that respective order. What? I'm pretty sure dragons have killed more people than the Tomb of Annihilation ever has. I mean, come on. Have you seen Ord the Dragon kill 2 kids with just his penis? Adventurers know how dangerous both of these are, but dragons have always been the most terrifying thing to fight against. They can be tough to defeat, but there are those that have specialized in fighting these flying death lizards. They are called the Dragoons. Dragoons have been a staple of Final Fantasy, taking in visual aspects of dragons and mastering the art of aerial combat to take down dragons and any threat flying towards them. For the class features, you'll get a D10 for hit dice, which is the same hit dice as the fighters, paladins, and dark knights. You'll get proficiencies in light and medium armor, simple weapons, and martial weapons. You won't get any tool proficiencies. The saving throws you are proficient in is in dexterity and intelligence, and you'll get to obtain 2 skills from a list of 8 skills. You'll get to pick out your fighting style right at level 1. You'll get to choose 1 out of 3 combat styles: dueling, great weapon fighting, and 2-weapon fighting. You can have only 1 fighting style under your belt, so choose wisely. You'll learn about the Dragoon's trance at level 1. As a bonus action, you'll fall into a special trance. While under this trance, your jump distance is tripled and you can jump from a standing position. Jumping is an important element for the Dragoon, so I'll quickly go over how jumping works in D&D. There are 2 types of jumps, long jumps and high jumps. In order to do either of these jumps, you must use 10 feet of your movement before jumping. If it's a long jump, you'll cover a number of feet equal to your strength score, and if it's a high jump, you'll cover a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier. If you try to do these jumps while standing, you'll only cover half of that distance. However, if you're under the Dragoon's trance, you can ignore that half jumping distance rule when you're standing, and you can multiply your jump distance by 3. For example, if your strength score is 15 and you want to perform a long jump, you can now jump to 45 feet. Your trance ends after 1 minute, and you'll regain your uses after a long rest. For more information on jumping, you can find them on page 182 of the player's handbook. The next feature is dive. While under the Dragoon's trance, you can jump and perform a dive attack against a creature that is half of your jump range. The attack damage is your weapon damage plus 1d6 bonus damage, with the bonus damage increasing at certain levels. You can also use dive to attack and knock creatures prone. Pretty handy for knocking out a certain type of flying creature out of the sky. But if you do this, the trance will end early, so it's best to do this when the 1 minute time limit is almost out. At level 3, you get to choose your Dragoon archetype, aka your subclass. Your choices are the Dragon Slayer, the Dragonheart, and the Valkyrie. You'll gain their features at levels 3, 9, 13, and 17. The ability score improvement levels for the Dragoon is 4, 8, 12, 16, and 19, which can be used to increase your ability scores. At level 5, you'll get the classic extra attack feature. This lets you attack twice whenever you take the attack action. Then you'll get respective presence. With this, you'll gain advantage on charisma checks and investigation check when interacting with people that have heard of Dragoons. It's a very specific ability and will depend on how your DM has incorporated Dragoons into the campaign. If they are well known and famous, then this is an awesome feature. But if you're the last one and no one has heard of you, then this might not help you out at all. However, at level 7, you'll gain a universally helpful feature called Zeal of the Dragon. This will grant you advantage on initiative rolls. No catch, this will just help you stab things a whole lot quicker. The level 10 feature is Crash Landing. Whenever you use the dive attack on a flying creature and try to knock them prone, you can also reduce their flying speed to 0 feet for a number of turns equal to your strength modifier, if the attack was successful. Since you're still knocking them prone, the Dragoon's trance will still end early if you perform crash landing, but since your flightless friend is on the ground with you, there shouldn't be any need for it right now. The next feature is Blood for Blood. When you are under the Dragoon's trance, you may choose to gain advantage on your next attack action. You also deal bonus damage equal to your strength modifier when you deliver these attacks. But this will let attacks against you have advantage until the start of your next turn. Not a great idea to pull off when you're outnumbered, but it can be quite handy for a one-on-one fight or when you're attacking from out of sight. You'll get Invigorate at level 14. This will let you re-roll a failed saving throw once, and you can take the new result. But since this feature can be used twice per long rest, you can technically do this again if the reroll also failed the saving throw. The next feature is Keen Flurry at level 15. As a bonus action, you can enter another kind of trance, forcing creatures within your reach to have disadvantage against you for a number of rounds equal to your dexterity modifier. You could pair this up with Blood for Blood to negate the advantage enemies have on their attack rolls against you. You'll have a number of uses equal to half of your strength modifier, and you'll regain the uses after a long rest. Then you'll get Battle Litany. When you're under the Dragoon's trance, you can inspire all allies 10 feet of you as a bonus action. This inspiration will cause your allies' weapon attacks to crit on a 19 or 20 for a number of rounds equal to half of your strength modifier. This won't stack on with the current crit range for some of your allies' abilities. Sorry, fighter. But you can do this inspiration each time you enter the Dragoon's trance. The level 20 feature is One with the Sky. Just like some of the other Final Fantasy classes, this capstone feature will give you back 2 uses of your Dragoon's trance, if you have no more uses when you roll for initiative. Considering you'll have 6 trances by level 20, this feature is more for those that will go through trances every other minute. The first subclass is the Dragon Slayer. These are Dragoons that want to put the dragons on the endangered species list. In order for that to happen, they must train in pinpointing the weak spots on dragons to effectively put them down. The first feature is Elusive Jump. When you're under the Dragoon's trance, you can end it as a reaction to dodge an incoming attack and perform an elusive jump. You'll leap away a number of feet equal to half of your movement speed, and it will only take half damage from the attack. This will end your precious Dragoon's trance, but once you perform this jump, enemies will have disadvantage against you for a number of rounds equal to your dexterity modifier. The next feature is Knowledge from Blood. Your studies on dragonkind have granted you proficiency on history, nature, and perception checks that involves dragons. You'll also automatically learn the language of the dragons as well. At level 9, you'll learn the Spine Shattered Dive. This will upgrade your dive ability. When you perform a dive, you can deal additional damage equal to your strength modifier. Also, you can choose to stun a creature instead of proning them when you use dive as well. The final feature is Dragon Bane. You'll gain the evasion ability, which lets you take no damage on a dexterity saving throw if you pass it, and half damage if you fail it. Pretty handy for dodging the dragon's breath attacks. In addition, after dodging those attacks from dragons, you can attack them and deal an additional 3d6 points of damage. This bonus also applies to non-dragon creatures as well, but they'll only suffer 1d6 bonus damage instead of 3d6. This subclass is for those that really want to take on everything and anything dragon related. Even if your campaign doesn't use dragons that much, some of the features like Spine Shattered Dive and Elusive Jump can help you out against any kind of threat. There are Dragoons that believe that in order to defeat your enemy, you must become like your enemy. They are called the Dragonhearts. These are special Dragoons that perform rituals to harness the abilities of dragons themselves, to unleash their power against their foes. The first feature is the Breath of the Dragon. This will let you spend a use of Dragoon's Trance to cast the Dragon's Breath spell on yourself. As a reminder, the spell lets you exhale a 15-foot cone of energy that deals 3d6 of a damage type of your choice, like acid or fire. You'll have to prepare it as an action first, then you can unleash it as a future action. It'll start as a level 2 spell, but it will increase at later levels. The spellcasting ability for this spell is Strength. The next feature is Dragon Sense at level 9. You'll develop the senses of a dragon, gaining 30 feet of blind sight and 60 feet of dark vision. You'll also be able to make perception checks as a bonus action instead of as an action. At level 13, you'll have the Blood of the Dragon. When you activate the Dragoon's Trance, you'll gain 10 temporary hit points, and you won't have to concentrate on the Dragoon's Breath spell. So you can prep it as an action this round, take a beating, then spew it out as an action next round. The final feature is Life of the Dragon. When you have Dragon's Breath prepped and you're under the Dragoon's Trance, you can use the Dragon's Breath spell as a bonus action instead of as an action. The subclass is for those that really love the Dragon's Breath spell. It advertises as a Dragoon with dragon-like properties, but when 3 of the 4 features are all for Dragon's Breath, you might want to look elsewhere for your dragon power fix. The final Dragoon subclass is the Valkyrie. Instead of focusing on fighting dragons, Valkyries devote themselves to mastering land and aerial combat, becoming the ultimate leaping warrior. The first feature is Crescent Moon Strikes. Whenever you use an action to attack, you can use a bonus action to perform a second attack on a creature that's next to your first target. This attack won't receive any ability modifier bonuses on the damage roll, and this attack doesn't apply to extra attacks. The next feature is High Jump. When you are under the Dragoon's Trance, your jump distance is now quadrupled instead of tripled. With this, for example, if your strength score is 15 and you want to long jump, you can jump up to 60 feet instead of 45 feet. That is some Olympic level jumping right there. You'll then get the Flight of the Dragoon at level 13. By expending 2 uses of your Dragoon's Trances, you can grow a pair of motherfucking ethereal wings out of your back, and gain a flying speed of 60 feet for 1 minute. Through jumping, you could just fly everywhere now. The final feature is Dragonfire Dive. This is a special dive that you can do once per long rest. When you perform a Dragonfire Dive, you'll engulf yourself in flames, changing your bonus damage from 3d6 weapon damage to 8d6 fire damage. Your target and all creatures within 20 feet of it will get hit by your blast, but if the surrounding creatures pass the saving throw, they'll only take a quarter of the damage instead of half. This dive will also end your Dragoon's Trance. The Valkyrie will work wonders for you if you want some good options for aerial travel and attacks. Also, why are there cool dragon-like abilities here instead of the Dragonheart? That doesn't make sense. If you want to play Dragonheart, just play the Valkyrie. And with that was the Dragoon class of Final Fantasy XIV. Let me know in the comments of your thoughts of this class. Is it balanced? What changes would you recommend? Anything like that. Also, let me know of other homebrew you'd like me to go over in the comments below as well. The link to this compendium and to my other D&D Final Fantasy videos can be found in the description below. Thanks for watching everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe for more homebrew content and other things like the Dragon's Breath spell. Till next time, bye.